There was a lot of shit going on. It leaves me with a lot.
This chapter just got known at the buffet. It's full of shit.
Yeah, it's York. It is York right now. It needs to take a giant ass fucking shit on my lawn to ruin my day. It's gonna take like 3 hours of shoveling that shit.
Is York a dog? Is he a Yorkie? Yorkshire?
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to our predictions for One Piece Chapter 1072, whatever the name of it's going to be. Yeah,
probably Foxy's got a big dick.
Foxy definitely has a big dick. Fuck you, Alex. That's all I gotta say about that. Anyway, if you like this content and you want to see more, please subscribe to our channel. Comment. Let us know your thoughts. We enjoy interacting with all of you. We love, especially on our prediction videos, where you give us your feedback.
Smash that like button.
Smash the like button, ring the bell. Make sure you stay tuned for everything. We do our best to upload at least 3 videos for every chapter, and sometimes we do other theory videos on break weeks, so stick around. But with that being said, let's go ahead and jump into our predictions for 1072. Brock, I'm going to let you go, because I tend to have a lot to say, especially like after last week's predictions.
Oh, man.
What do you think's going to happen?
All right.
Well, actually, since we were just fresh off of our review and you said something that I'm like, okay, let's focus on that. What do you think's going to happen with Garp? Like, even if it's not necessarily next chapter, what do you think's going to happen with Garp?
So,
because I got thoughts on that, but I've got
a couple potentials. I'm going to say if Luffy has anyone else in his life die, it might be Garp, because he's old and he's
lived his time. It's fine.
He'll be the Jiraiya. I'm sorry. Hurts. That hurts. That hurts.
Tale of Jiraiya the Gallant.
Anyways, that being said, given my standing on One Piece deaths,
but hey, that can only happen if the 6 punks of pain come and stab Garp. And
I love that you did the anime like joke slap.
Oi! Oi! I'm sorry.
No, it was well timed. It was well timed.
Okay, anyway, I need to stop interrupting you. Go ahead.
So, now I do believe that there is a possibility that Garp may be that final sacrifice to the main bad guy known as Blackbeard. But given the fact that it's One Piece,
the artist formerly known as Marshall T. Teach. I'm sorry. I can't. The memes.
If you like this content, but no, given how One Piece is, and given how it's being clearly established where Luffy and his crew now stand, that's one thing I do like. I really liked. I really had fun realizing. There was a fun realization last chapter where Luffy can no longer be used as a reliable measurement for people's strength, because the only people who can truly like fight him are emperors and admirals, and then whoever else is secretly hiding away there, you know? Which is why it's like, it's funny, people were like, oh, Lucci's weak. I'm like, no, Luffy's just no longer an underdog.
Well, it's the same thing that Kaido said to Jack after the transformation of the minks, and
you're not weak. They're just too strong.
You're not weak. They're just too strong. Like,
exactly.
Because Lucci got such a clean, good hit on Sentomaru.
Well, here's the thing, too. Like,
he's not weak.
Besides Luffy, the 2 people we've seen him beaten were clean one-hit one-hit defeats.
Yeah, he beat Atlas and he beat Sentomaru.
And you can probably consider those guys to be above average even in the New World. So, anyway, that's not prediction stuff, but it's just so cool to realize that Luffy is what Goku is in the God tournament, where he's one of the strongest people in that universe. He's no longer the underdog, except maybe against the main bad guy. Mm-hmm. So it's cool. It's cool. It's cool to see Oda emphasize that and just show, Luffy's done being the one getting pounded out every single time. Yeah. He went through that with Big Mom and Kaido. You know, he went through that at Marineford. Now is his time to be above the New World Standard.
So, did you actually watch our predictions that me and Alex made last
I did,
time?
yes.
Okay, cool.
Yes.
So you remember my theory was that Egghead will not turn into a tragedy, but will turn into almost a victory.
Mm-hmm. I like that one, yeah.
Do you agree with me on a lot of my points that I made? Not necessarily all of them. Like, you don't have to, but just in general, I think this still leaves room for this to be a moment where the Straw Hats prove that they are on the world stage and they're here to stay.
I agree on several points. I agree that there's a lot of factors there that are making it blatantly similar to Sabaody, including, Sentomaru, Pacifista type characters. In terms of the Seraphim, you got Kizaru coming, the Straw Hats are there trying to escape. I do think the potential is definitely there. I think the fact that one of the seemingly strongest people there on the enemy side, being Lucci, doesn't really stand a chance against Luffy as far as we can tell. I think it would be a good chance. I don't see this as being a defeat of an admiral. Mm-mm. I think it's a bit too early for that.
Well, and I think I made the comparison. Also, it could end up being a Pyrrhic victory. And I made this comment about an Aka Inu thing where Alex and I were discussing how much control Luffy has over the Gear 5th thing.
Yeah.
But what if this still, even if it's not necessarily a defeat, what if it's almost a Pyrrhic victory for the Marines once again, where the amount of damage and losses they took while routing the Straw Hats was almost tantamount to defeat?
That's kind of what I'm feeling. I'm kind of feeling like it'll be similar to, say, I had an example in my mind just now. No, but I had a feeling that, like, even if they don't beat them, all of their targets will escape. Luffy will hold off Kizaru, making them realize, oh shit, he's literally an emperor, and they'll at least be able to get away and, like, maybe even get a shot off on Kizaru, the man made of light. And plus, it might not even come from Luffy because he does have that weapon that nullifies light, which is interesting. Mm-hmm. But anyways, but no, I think there's a lot of good platform you're setting your thought on for that, and I definitely think it's a possibility.
Cool. Before we continue on to something else, I wanted to also put my thoughts out there on Garp. I haven't
finished my thoughts on Garp.
Oh, I'm sorry. Go. In all of that other discussing, I thought we covered it.
No, so I've said I think it's possible Garp could die, but knowing One Piece and knowing where Luffy stands now in terms of his power, and just how Oda tends to create this and I think I've often said this, but what I love about Oda's writing style, I know a lot of people hate the fake out deaths. It's one of the reasons people are like, oh, he's the second most hated character in One Piece, but it's not something like I personally love that he didn't go down a Bleach route or a Naruto route where, like, after the time skip, people are just dying and dying and dying. Everything's darker, everything's sadder. Everything has to be more grown up. And I love that instead of that, he's promoting more hope. He's promoting more of a fighting back approach. Where it's like, yeah, some people might die, but it's not going to be in vain. It's not going to be in the darkness of this hopelessness. Luffy, he will be laughing his ass off with white fire in his hair. And that's what I love about it. And so that's why I think I have reason to believe that. I was always saying that, Sabo we might have an equivalent to, like, Ace's potential attempted rescue with Sabo, but with what just happened at the island he was on, I'm going to make the assumption that maybe he's not captured by anybody at the moment.
Yeah.
Maybe Garp will be the new... Well, maybe Luffy will save Garp. And I think that would be so poetic because Garp could not do the same for his grandsons. Mm-hmm. And I think that would be a really cool, like...
It'd be a nice parallel.
It'd be a lovely parallel in many ways, you know? But that's where I stand on Garp. And then... But going on to the actual chapter prediction for me real quick.
Yep.
And then we'll just go to your whole thing.
Okay.
Next chapter, now that we've gotten all this extra stuff that we didn't know before, as usual, I can see us... I imagine it will start off either with G14 again,
okay,
or it'll start off with Zoro versus Kaku. Is my thought process. It'll either go back to one of those two because those are, in my opinion, the most prevalent, the most action forward oriented, where they can actually, because like with Kuma, there's a lot of mystery there. Like, what's he doing there of all places? Where's he going? So I don't know if we'll see that for a while. But I think with Garp's appearance / with Zoro meeting Kaku, there's a lot more of a chance for continuation because that's right now the most forward racing moments besides Luffy chasing Bonnie in the arc currently.
Yeah.
Because everybody else has their feet stuck to the ground still, as far as we know.
Oh my god.
It was definitely...
No. Oh.
Unless they're walking around now.
No, wait.
Wouldn't that be hilarious?
Shit.
No, they're sitting down now.
No, okay.
They moved.
Okay.
Wouldn't that be hilarious?
I was like, I swear they moved in this chapter.
Wouldn't that be hilarious if they still were stuck like that?
That was the joke that I felt like we were all kind of silently making, was just like, what if they're still stuck? And like, Lucci's literally like outside the door. Anyway, okay, no, yeah, they're sitting down. It looks like they have moved from the positions they had.
I imagine it'll start with either Garp or Zoro. You know, potentially Luffy chasing Bonnie. But I imagine with the inclusion of this and Kuma and Kid, now we've gotten all these like snippets of other things happening. We're gonna go back to, I think, a very Egghead-centric chapter.
Yeah.
Where I think the focus will be a lot on them prepping for escape, Zoro fighting Kaku, and the Straw Hats either divvying up jobs about who needs to do what, or, you know, if they're all getting ready to escape.
Yeah.
You know. Because, you know, and because, like, everybody that needs to leave, as far as you know, is together.
Mm-hmm.
And so, really, they just need to go to the ship.
To the ship and use Vega Force 1 to hopefully get them back down to the water.
Interestingly enough, everyone is mostly in one place besides Zoro and Brook.
And then where Vegapunk and Bonnie currently
are. And Luffy, yeah. The usual...
so Luffy's present.
Oh, yeah. Because
Bonnie and Vegapunk are the ones who are now
still running about. Off. That's actually quite concerning because Vegapunk's, like, central in all this.
Yeah. Okay.
So maybe that'll actually be what divides them. Is like, okay, you guys look for Vegapunk, you guys go help secure the ship, type thing.
Okay.
And I think that's where my predictions end, because it's just like every chapter is a new set of left turns.
It's just a mindfuck every time.
Yeah.
Every time I think I know what way Oda's gonna zig, he zags on me. All the time.
Yeah.
All the time.
What you got?
So just on the Garp thing as a whole, and obviously I've always been in between you and Alex when it comes to character deaths. I don't need them. I do get frustrated by ones that I feel like they make more sense if they happen.
Mm-hmm.
Obviously, my biggest one in Wano was Kinemon. I will always hold to that Kinemon should have died in his situation. I thought it was much more meaningful the way he technically went out defending Momonosuke in that moment. And then obviously the way he survived is still one that I will always give Oda as like a, you know how to win me back because I can buy that in a begrudging way. I can buy it. Anyway, Garp is going to get his ass kicked by Blackbeard. I don't care. Like, he was strong. He was the strongest Marine of his time. Some people would argue he was the strongest Marine at Marineford at the time. You can argue about that in the comments. Please keep it civil as best you can. But that being said, I feel like Garp is probably going to go the way of Rayleigh, where it's his reputation at this point that is keeping certain factors at bay. He's going to put up a fight, don't get me wrong, but I think he's going to lose. And my thing is that going to turn into a he dies in the fight? Is it going to turn into a he's captured and Luffy has to come save him in some way, shape, or form? Obviously, if Luffy has to come save him, Luffy will succeed. I don't think Oda's going to do that again to us. But I lean more towards Garp is going to lose, and he's going to lose badly. On that one in particular. I don't want it to happen. I like Garp. I really like Garp. He's not a bad dude.
You know what I could see? Mm-hmm. I can see that fight being the fight that brings out the truth of Blackbeard's fruit.
I'd be okay with that.
Because here's the thing that I've always thought, and what I think kind of...
Go ahead. Finish your thought.
Is that in terms of the older generation... as far as Marines go, Garp was kind of the comparable to Gold Roger.
Yes.
Which means that I put him above Rayleigh, which for me leads you to that even though he won't win, I think he's going to put enough on Blackbeard that Blackbeard has to get fully serious for the first time we've seen.
Okay.
I can totally see that happening.
I can see that. Absolutely. What?
Because we've already seen what he can do to Shanks.
What if, and this may set Alex free from his curse, what if, obviously the destination that they say is Hachinosu, but what if Garp comes and interrupts the fight on Winter Island, and he takes the L that is intended for Law?
Oh, man. That's crazy. And also what's hard to tell too is because
obviously all of these things are happening all at once
across
the world.
Well, here's the thing though, we don't know if Law's fight is still happening at this point.
No, exactly.
It might be over by now and they might be somewhere else. We could probably assume that Law's fight was happening as they entered Egghead because that's when it was shown, But at this point,
who knows?
Who knows? A lot could happen in a day, Yeah. But no, I mean, that's also very possible, though.
So, those are my general thoughts on Garp. It's not a guaranteed death. I'm not happy if he dies. And
you don't think his death is necessary? We think Ace was enough of a growth point.
Yes.
In terms of
correct.
Death for Luffy.
Correct. It's not necessary. It could happen.
Yes.
So, obviously, I don't think we're going to get any answers on what's going on with... Kid, next chapter, we might, I think you already said it, we might open on a little bit of Kuma, but we won't get much more. Most likely we will open on Zoro versus Kaku, or just more stuff with CP0 engaging. We didn't see Brook this chapter. Is Brook doing something else, or is he on the ship? I don't know if you saw me earlier. I was kind of squinting because obviously you see Zoro's silhouette right there, and I'm kind of looking around. I'm like, is there something in here that is clearly Brook and or Caribou?
Caribou, I forgot about him.
Because he's around somewhere. But other than that, I can only make predictions at a long sight. I can only make them further than a chapter.
Longer term.
Because a lot of these, chapter by chapter, which don't get me wrong, this chapter was full of shit. There was a lot of shit going on. It leaves me with a lot.
This chapter just got known at the buffet. It's full of shit.
Yeah, it's York. It is York right now. It needs to take a giant-ass fucking shit on my lawn to ruin my day. It's going to take, 3 hours of shoveling that shit.
Is York a dog? Is he a Yorkie? Yorkshire?
No.
I'm pretty sure they still like have facilities for York to use.
Yeah. But she's just
shitting your lawn.
She's just shitting on my lawn because she's got Atlas's anger. Anyway,
angry shits.
No
giggles.
But the only thing I could say is kind of going in my theory of Egghead turning into like an actual standing of the Straw Hats.
Mm-hmm.
I could see all the Straw Hats getting geared up and ready to go and ready to fight and push back.
Maybe a bit more of an upgrade for people who weren't as upgraded for Wano.
And I am still holding out for there are more Seraphim in the basement or whatever you want to call it here on Egghead.
Hidden away.
Cause I want me a string S string and fucking S shadow and S sand.
You want more Brickbat? I don't want him spamming Brickbat.
I want him spamming Brickbat against Lucci awakened. No less. I want him to Brickbat Lucci so hard, and then I want him to cut off his fucking shadow and make him die. I'm just kidding. I want that for Kaku more than I want it for Lucci, because I like Lucci more than Kaku. I don't know. Fuck Stussy. Get rid of Stussy. I don't know. I like them all.
I like them all, honestly. It's weird. Like, I have no reason to really truly like the three of them, but they're so just like.
What do you mean you have no reason? Kaku's an honorable dude. The last
he's
time
honorable, yeah. I mean,
more honorable.
Well, not even honorable. He's more human than Lucci, I'd say.
Yeah. Lucci's just an animal.
You know.
Anyway. No, I could see, specifically in the next chapter, I could see Straw Hats, like, actually gearing up to fight and get ready for...
Have their first actual major skirmish with the world government post-time skip.
Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh. What is today? No, we haven't had a major skirmish with the world government since the time skip. Huh.
Mm-hmm.
Like,
we just had some brief, like, clashes with Fujitora, but that was really more just like...
Yeah, that was just, like, Luffy trolling the dude. But, yeah, no, we haven't
had a full-on fight with
the government. That's crazy.
This might be the first.
This might be it.
And it'd be a fitting island.
Like I said, flipping of Sabati and Ennie's lobby on its head.
It would be a very fitting island for it to happen on.
Okay. I made the prediction last chapter, and Alex semi-agreed with me, depending on, like, how relevant it is for Robin. Do you think Robin can stand up to Lucci by herself?
I saw that, so...
I know you were actually one of the few who was like, nah.
So here's the thing. I think... So this also... It's hard because the only thing we have to go off of is Black Maria, who I personally think isn't as strong as Lucci. Mm-hmm. I think Lucci could probably beat her rather easily, in my opinion. Just because he's so, as far as the enemy goes, he's so one of a kind.
I just wanted to put it out there,
but
see what the thought was.
That is one of those things where I would literally have to see it to believe it, but if I don't see it, I cannot see her beating him. Okay. I can see her putting up a fight now.
Yeah.
But Lucci has given me no reason to think that Robin is stronger than him.
That's fair. Okay.
He's, because, like, we've only seen him fight 3 times, and he's one-shot everyone who isn't Luffy. I'm currently of the belief that she could not one-shot Sentomaru.
What if next chapter opens with Brook and Zoro holding off all 3 CP0 agents until reinforcements come up?
That'd be cool.
What do you think then? If Brook is holding his own... Because I think Zoro can beat Lucci easily.
I'm not sure easily. I think Lucci...
Mid-diff?
I think Lucci is... I think he's up there, if not strong. I think he's up there with Yonko... Commanders.
Okay.
I think he could give Zoro trouble. I don't think he would beat Zoro or Sanji.
I hate that I'm being the power scaler.
No, that's fine. That's fine. You're not pushing it on me.
No, exactly.
You're not pushing it on me.
Have you heard of our Lord and Savior power scaling?
Go back to Dragon Ball Z, you chump. Anyways, no, I think Zoro could beat Lucci, unless, like I said, Lucci's hiding something about his powers we haven't seen yet.
Good point.
That's like I said, I'm a bit suspicious of the fact that Lucci still doesn't seem phased at all after being completely destroyed. Like, it's like, it might just be how he is, but at the same time, he just seems so confident.
He's very confident.
He seems so confident for no reason. So it's like, I have to see. But like, I don't see Brook beating Lucci. You know, I mean, I see Lucci currently as he is, someone who can only be beaten by the top of the Straw Hats. You know, Jinbei and above.
Okay.
But you never know. You could be surprised. Obviously, you can. The Straw Hats are good at surprising people.
I will hold to my prediction that at this point the top 4 Straw Hats either low diff to mid diff Lucci, where they will all beat him, Jinbei through Luffy.
So my opinion on that. So here's one thing.
Nope, you're good.
Here is I think Gear 5 against Luffy. So here's the thing. A lot of people. I think there's a big difference between Gear 5 and Gear 4. Mm-hmm. I think there's an absolutely huge difference between Gear 5 and Gear 4. Mm-hmm. I think there's an absolutely huge difference between Luffy Gear 5 and his crew.
Okay.
I don't think Sanji and Zoro are on the same level as Luffy Gear 5 by any standard. I don't think it's an easy win, but I don't think that they're on the level of Gear 5 Luffy.
Okay.
I think they would have a hard time against Gear 4 Luffy. Because Gear 4 Luffy is already
Well, I'm talking
crazy.
about all 4 of these people beating Lucci.
No. What I'm saying is the standard we have right now is that Gear 5 Luffy beat Lucci easily. But also, I think Gear 5 Luffy could beat most anybody easily. I think he could, mid to somewhat difficulty, win against, like, his crew. Oh. I think Luffy is no longer... I no longer group Luffy with the Straw Hats in terms of power.
He is truly evolved.
He is evolved. He is a god.
Okay.
Quite literally.
Okay.
I think Zoro, Jinbei, and Sanji are there beneath him.
Okay.
I put Luffy up there. And I think... I don't see them beating Lucci easily. I see them beating him, but I don't see it being mid to low.
Okay.
So
it would be more of a high diff.
Yeah, I wouldn't say extreme, but I would say high-esque.
Okay.
Just because, once again, I have no reason to think otherwise.
Okay.
Like that's the hard thing is because like we've literally seen the extremes with Lucci only. We've seen him, we've seen him low diff completely people who are above the Grand Line standard. And then he was low diff by someone who was
the disrespect he showed Sentomaru was a bit rough.
But then we see him, low diffed by someone who is now a Yonko, which is the top of the pirate world. Mm-hmm. Which is why I just cannot give a straight answer about, where he stands in terms of fighting the Straw Hats.
Fair enough.
Because I personally am of the and that kind of leads back to what I said when I said that Luffy is. You cannot use Luffy as a person to power skill other people anymore, except unless they're Yonko or they're other Yonko or they're admirals. So, which is why I need to wait for Lucci to fight someone other than Luffy, in order to truly say, okay, he's this strong.
Okay. Cool. I just had to ask the question
because Luffy's fruit is so weird. It's yeah.
As soon as we found out it was not what he thought it was.
Okay, I talked to Alex about this when you weren't here, but like. Isn't it, you know it now, but isn't it so weird to hear that the gum fruit was never in the encyclopedia? Isn't that just like...
Yeah, good point. I wasn't here to discuss that with both of you.
It's so weird.
It's very weird. It's like... But also it makes sense based on...
It makes sense, but it's just weird to hear.
It is.
As having been a fan of this for so many years, and thinking that the gum fruit was the thing.
Because also, why wouldn't... Blackbeard have said something about that?
Maybe he knew. And I think there's a reason we don't see much of Blackbeard until now.
Man, we could go on about that forever.
Predictions.
I think we could save that for like an actual just like theory video.
Yeah.
Because with this dropping a week early, we're basically going to be on break next week.
Yeah.
And then I think we had another break after that. I don't remember. But
I don't know anymore, man.
But the point is, if we do a video next week, it's most likely going to be theories or something else. But this was a very long predictions. We had a lot to talk about.
Did you finish your predictions?
I felt like I came to a good stopping point on my predictions. I don't really have anything else to add.
Sounds good.
Because yeah, I think Straw Hats gear up next chapter. That's my solid prediction for next chapter. Everything else I could add at this point would just be for future roadmap stuff.
Road punnet.
We need one more of those. Sorry, I just lost it there for a second. Anyway, thanks for sticking around for our longer than normal prediction video. We will see you either for a theory video maybe next week or something else. And then if not that, then we will see you all for 1072.
Happy New Year's!
Thanks for watching, and Foxy for the win.